Welcome to Evil Live, the live media commentary show that answers the question, if I'm bashing an angel's head against a bell to make it ring, does that count in making or giving wings to the angel? Like granting it wings? Anyway, subscribe if you're new to the channel because today we are continuing our In Nomine Feast of Blades actual play with Session 0. Today I'm being joined by the lovely Lauren. How are you, my dear?
Doing well. It's good to see you as always.
Yeah, it's been a little while since Army of Darkness, which was a lot of fun.
That
So
was a lot of fun.
hopefully this lives up to it. Well, just so you know, there is a war going on between heaven and hell. It's been raging since Lucifer's fall, and today we are creating a celestial to join in that war and ultimately play through the Feast of Blades adventure. So let's sort of dive in. What are you thinking? Are you thinking angel, demon? Have you gotten that far yet?
Yeah, so I was actually listening to a podcast not related to you and also the videos you did on your channel about this to kind of get my head around what we're looking at.
Right.
And so are we starting off as humans? Is that
No.
where
We're going to
no?
start
Okay.
off as celestial, and you just get to choose where you come from and who you serve.
Okay. So the big broad concept I'm thinking of at this point is to be the demon behind the driving force of like murder and like what that little whisper in the back of people's heads that make them go crazy and eventually kill people
Right.
and whatever goes along with that. So I don't know if that would be more of a jinn-like character or of a cherub, whatever the opposite of a cherub like.
Right. So it definitely wouldn't be the angel version of anything. I
No,
think maybe
no.
you might be thinking of, let me look at, not angels, but bands of demons here. So there's one that's a Sheedom, which is a corruptor, which they possess other humans and they sort of like make them do sort of vile things as they're actively possessing them. And they just walk around in their skin for a little while and then they just sort of hop to a new human and just sort of mess them up too. So that's one
I think that
option.
sounds perfect.
So the Jinn was a bit of a stalker. So they're sarcastic and disdainful, and they don't really get excited. They don't admit that they care as much about things that they actually do care about because they are sort of the reverse of cherubim. But yeah, I think for your description, Sheedom might be the best demonic band
Okay.
for you. So you do definitely want to go
Yeah.
demon then.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
It's got to be a true and fair representation of the player. Right.
Don't tell anyone.
All right, so let's see. I'm just going to save this as your character sheets so there's no confusion later on.
Okay.
And then I'll just fill this out for you as just so everyone can watch as we're doing it. And then afterward, you can just it's going to be a PDF form, so I'll just email it to you and you can either print it out or you can just reference it via the PDF however you feel inclined to go about it.
Perfect.
But it should be pretty easy. So you should see it on screen. I'm not sure if you're using a phone or a computer or anything like that. But you want to do Sheedom. So you're not the only Sheedom, so this might actually work out pretty well.
Ooh.
Cameron, I don't know if you remember him from last game, but he is also doing a Sheedom too. And as far as
Fantastic.
mechanically, it's pretty nice because then you don't have to worry about buying your own vessel because you just hop into other people's vessels, which is kind of cool. So every demon, well, every angel and demon, every celestial, they have what's called a resonance, which is basically how they fit into the symphony, which is the fabric of the universe, basically. And you always need to stay true to your resonance, or else you develop something called discord, and enough discord will manifest into dissonance. I'm sorry, that's backwards. You stay true to your resonance so you don't get dissonance. If you get too much dissonance, it manifests as a discord, which is a sort of figure, like a abnormality in your soul, in your body, or whatever. Other demons look down on that. Angels definitely look down on it, but you're a demon, so who cares? So you always want to try to stay true to who and what you are as a demon or an angel, just because it's a little bit easier. You don't have to get hunted or killed or whatever. So as far as, I might have to put my glasses, jeez. As far as the resonance for a Sheedom corruptor, they don't have or cannot bear the selflessness that comes from controlling multiple hosts at the same time, like their angelic counterparts. So instead, they resonate in a more treacherous way by only having one, and they just corrupt that one person over and over and over again. Every single day, you have to make them do something just a little bit more vile, just a little bit
Okay.
more shameful than the day
It's
before.
perfect.
And then when you're done with them, you just sort of leave their bodies and enter someone else's and start it all over again. So it's always nice to start easy in a new host that you possess. You know, have them do something that's a little bit shameful, so you don't have to keep upping the really big stuff. You don't end up like starting with a John Wayne Gacy and then trying to top it every day. That could be difficult. So let's see. A Shedite desensitizes their host to obscenity by bending their minds to their celestial will, convincing them that such perversions were their idea. So the body
Oh,
hoppers,
perfect.
they cannot pass a day without eliciting someone to do something despicable. And then, of course, the dissonance of that, the opposite of that, would be the demon generates dissonance every day in which he does not force his host to further corrupt its nature. So you start with something light, and then you just get worse and worse and worse. So each time a host
Yeah.
crosses a moral line, a new standard is set. The next day must bring a worse corruption. So always keep that in mind whenever you get a host. You know, it may be interesting for gameplay to start with someone that seems really innocent and see how badly you can sort of push them, and then you just sort of leave them and watch them fall apart on their own. But another part about the Sheetum is their appearance. Their celestial appearance is very, very obscure. So in celestial form, Sheetum are shimmering black clouds of limbs, wings, eyes, and other mercifully unidentifiable organs pulsing to mad infernal beat. So you're just this conglomerate of like shapes and objects floating through. And if people see that, like if mortals see it, they will lose their mind. They can just scream and just get shocked. They can go crazy and start running around mad. I mean, there's a lot to go into that. But if you do appear as your celestial form on Earth, that creates a sort of ripple effect that other angels will be able to sense and they might come after you. So you always got to gauge how far you go with your actions because they will affect the symphony at large and other people will be able to hear that depending on the magnitude of that ripple.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes
Okay.
sense. So really from
Yeah.
a mechanical standpoint, before we start getting into like your characteristics and stuff like that, will is going to be your primary characteristic that you want to make sure is high enough in order to convince people to do things. Without will, then you're telling them to do something, they're just ignoring you, and you definitely don't want that. So we'll have to make sure that when you do get into it, that you have a good will here. So let's talk about the forces. Every celestial, every beginning celestial, has 9 forces to distribute between the 3 different aspects of reality, right? So we have the corporeal reality realm, which is Earth, and it focuses on strength and agility. We have the ethereal reality, which is basically your dream world or your mental world, and that focuses on intelligence and precision. And you have the celestial realm, which deals with will and perception. Angels need perception more, demons need will more. These 3 realms really like stretch out to the entirety of the whole game. But because we are focused on Earth, this is a war between heaven and hell on Earth, you may go to the other realms at some point, but probably not. You'll want to make sure that you're pretty solid with your will and your celestial side, but also with your corporeal side, depending on the type of character that you want to be. So, have you given any thought about now that you know you're going to be a corruptor, some sort of person that possesses other people's bodies? Do you want to focus more on your when you're controlling their bodies? Do you want to focus more on like the cerebral type gameplay, or do you want to focus a little bit more on the physicality, like walk up and knock someone right in their head?
Ooh, gosh. It would. So when I possess somebody, are am I as strong as they are? So like if I were to possess somebody who's already strong.
So you actually use all of your own stats when you possess another entity.
Mm.
They basically are just taking a back seat mentally, and it's just sort of seeing reality through a fog as if they're the ones controlling themselves, when in reality it's you. And so you do end up using all of your own statistics. So if you get a big old biker or a little kid, it's really the same. It's all based on you.
Okay. Shoot. So
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking maybe 4 in celestial, 3 in corporeal, and 2 in ethereal.
Okay. So with each of those, you get 4 points to distribute between each of the characteristics associated with that realm. So for celestial, because you have 3, you have 12 points to distribute between strength and agility. I'm sorry, for corporeal.
Okay.
How would you want to distribute that between strength and agility? The 12. That's 1.
I'm doing this acoustically.
Ah, I need to get it tuned.
So I think 5 in agility and 7 in strength.
Okay. Nice. So as far as the game mechanic goes, we use 3 6-sided dice. You find out whatever the check digit, the difficulty number that you need to get under, because every roll is under, and then you use 2 of those 6-sided dice to roll, adding all of your abilities together, and then you'll find out if you get under that or not. So
Okay.
the higher those are, the better it is because it's easier to roll under it. So that's a really
Okay.
good
Yeah.
makeup there. So for ethereal, you have 8. Do you just want to do even, or do you want to sort of
Yeah.
split them separately?
Even sounds good. 4 and 4.
Okay, even Steven. So then we have 3, 6. Oh, I didn't do the fourth. Okay, so 12, 16. Is that right? In celestial, so you have 16 points to distribute between will and perception.
Okay. Let's do 10 in will and
Whoa.
6 in perception.
Okay. Jeez. Jeez. Okay, so with
I want
everyone,
to do well.
yeah, well, you're going to with a freaking 10. That's the highest I think anyone has in any ability. So normally when we deal with bodies, we have to deal about the body hits. That's how you deal with, like, it's like hit points basically. Well, literally. In your particular case, it's irrelevant. You don't have to worry about your stats to generate the body because you're going to be using whatever the stats are for that individual that you go into. So instead of focusing on that right now, let's deal with your mind points, which are basically your mental hit points, and the soul points, which is your soul hit points. So for mind hit points, it's your total mind number is determined by multiplying your ethereal forces times your intelligence. So 2 times 4. So you've got 8 mind, which is pretty common for what everyone else is doing too. And then your celestial is multiplying your celestial forces times your will. Wow. So you have a 40 mind, right? Is
Watch out.
my math right? Wow. Yeah, seriously. Don't play Sudoku against you or whatever. All right, what else? So now let's sort of look at you have as many character points to spend to create your character as you have in number of forces times 4. So you have 36, I believe, if this math hasn't changed in the last 3 of these I've done. So you have 36 points to distribute amongst everything. But before we start doing that, let's talk about the prince that you serve. So everyone
Yes.
serves someone. If you're not serving God as an angel, ultimately you're serving Lucifer as a devil or as a demon. But in between that, you have people who are your sort of intermediaries, because of course no one's going to have everyone go up to Lucifer and bug him all the time. He would never have his own time to do anything. So you have the demon princes that you would then defer to, and they would send you on missions and give you tasks and reward you for doing well. So have you researched any of the demon princes at all, or should we just sort of go through them all really quick?
I briefly looked through some of them. Um,
Okay.
the Prince of Dark Humor I found to be very interesting.
Oh, Gabriel,
Um,
yeah.
I think probably for my purposes, the Prince of Death would probably be the best option.
Saminga. Okay.
But that was back when I was thinking I was gonna be, was it Colabim?
Right.
So maybe now that would change because I haven't really looked over the different options.
It's okay.
But I don't need to look over all of them
Yeah.
either. We just got to go based off of what sounds or feels correct.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
ultimately, all of the demon princes and all of the archangels are given command over a word. And that word, whether it's dark humor, nightmares, or war, or death, or lust, it's all a part of the symphony, and they fight to defend that word. So all the servitors of those demon princes also are connected intimately with that word and try to further the strength of the word. So death, of course, you're going to want to go around and trying to make sure people either come back from the dead and serve you through undead life, or by murdering more and more people. Nightmares, Belith is the one that Cameron is. He's also a Shedite, or a yeah, Shedite,
okay,
and he is focusing mainly on corrupting people in their dreams and then possessing their bodies when they're awake, just like sort of doubling down on messing with them. But it
nice.
really, you can sort of wrap everything up together in that word. So whichever word you personally like the idea of defending and furthering, that might be one we could explore and sort of do a little shortcut that way.
Okay. I do like the oh, it zoomed way in on my phone. Prince of Fate, but it says restricted next to it. What does that mean?
72. So Prince of Fate is Kronos. Let's find out. Oh, it's restricted because the powers that you have, if you're a follower of that, sometimes you can buy the powers that are granted to other people through that. So, for
Oh,
example, Shedem with the Prince of Fate, Kronos, once a day, a Shedem may alter his host's perception of time and mortality. He may convince the host that there is time enough for everything and the human can afford to give in to the demon's agenda, whether there's no time to do the right thing and haste is required. Either way, the victim's will is reduced by the demon's celestial forces when resisting his dark urgings. So
yeah.
you may be able to buy other people's abilities or be granted other people's abilities by your prince, and that's really all the restricted means, is that it's harder for them to let other people do what you do.
Okay, I like that one. I think we'll do that. Prince of Fate.
Okay, it really does feed into um, your band as well. So
There's always
Kronos,
time. There's always time for a quick murder.
yeah, shove the needle in your eye. You don't have to worry about time. You don't have to work till tomorrow.
Just do it.
So messed up. Okay, so it is dissonant for an agent of Kronos to help a human achieve his destiny. It's also dissonant for an agent of Kronos to prevent a human from meeting his fate. This only applies to those whose destiny or fate the demon has discovered through the fated future attunement, or whose potential figures have been revealed by the demon of Kronos himself. So if a demon unwittingly helps a human achieve his destiny or prevents him from meeting his dark fate, he won't generate dissonance, but Kronos will be severely displeased. So each prince, of course, has things that they don't want you to do because they have their own political outlook of not only other princes, but also other angels and humanity as a whole. So you don't have to adopt all of their beliefs or all of their relationships that they have. You can actually disagree with them, but knowing where you stand in line and out of line with their perception is pretty important throughout gameplay. To be fair, we're not going to get into a whole lot of politics in this game. This is, the first time anyone's playing this together, so we'll be light on that stuff, but just so you know.
Sweet.
If you find out someone's fate, you're going to want to encourage it. If you find out someone's destiny, you're going to want to stop it. And there is a difference, which we can get into later if you'd like. So then you have your band attunements, which are just naturally granted to you. Of course, because you're a Shedem, you have to corrupt each day your host. And then this says once a day you may alter your host's perception of time and mortality. So alter perception of time and mortality to bend them to your will, which ostensibly is mechanic-wise just lowers their will, so they'll do what you say to do. Let me add little dashes so that we know these are different little notes here. And then you can mark these up, as soon as I email it over to you, however you'd like. So the servitor attunements, those are things that you can buy. They're like powers, basically, that you can buy, but they cost 10 points each at character creation. Throughout gameplay, you might be granted them if you please Kronos. And distinctions are also like titles that are granted to you. The relations are how he relates to other demons and angels, and then the basic rights is how you can gain essence every day in excess of the one essence point you regenerate every night. So essence is spent as like a bonus, right? So if you spend one essence, it improves your chance of rolling against something by one. And you can spend as many as you want, but each essence you spend reverberates through the symphony and can then, of course, the larger reverberation can be heard by other people. So you want to spend them wisely, but you definitely want to use them when you need to use them. And then you can you get one back at sunset because you're a demon, but you can also do these rites in order to get them faster. So you spend 6 hours observing the passage of time, listening to a clock tick, watching a secondhand spin. That sounds terrible. You'll get one essence by doing it. Prevent someone from achieving his destiny. All right, that's one. And then help someone meet his fate. And that'll give you one too. So those are nice. If you are unaware of their destiny or their fate and you do it unknowingly, then I'll just let you know you got an essence. And then the invocation modifiers, most superiors don't want to be summoned. They summon you. But sometimes you need to let them know something that's rather important. Maybe they never set up a next meeting with you, or maybe, something has happened that has stopped you from being able to complete your mission. It's kind of difficult to summon your own prince, but there are invocation modifiers that you can have on you or things that you can do in order to improve your chances. In this particular case, having a quartz watch, a wind-up clock, a handwritten autobiography, a century-old grandfather clock, incredibly large clock, a lot of clock stuff, and an atomic clock. This is very clock
Yeah.
oriented. All right.
An atomic clock.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure that's going to be in your back pocket. But it is a +6.
It's a
So
big back pocket.
maybe, yeah. You got to have a big ass for that big back pocket. You get to
It's a
choose.
back pocket of holding. Just the
It's a
one pocket.
Kardashian back pocket, is what it is. You just need to shove
Yeah.
something in that trunk. Okay. So that's
That's what
basically.
happens. Their pockets go directly to their ass.
I mean, a little hole in the pocket. It'll get there eventually.
We figured it out.
We have unlocked the knowledge necessary. All right, so we've got your resonance, we got your dissonance, your manner and appearance as far as your celestial form, and we'll deal with the game mechanics and stuff when we're actually playing. So yeah, let's deal with building out your character. So there's a number of things that you can spend your character points on. First and foremost would be a vessel. You don't have to worry about that since you're a Sheedam. The second would be skills. You can have skills that allow you to do basically, this is a stripped down rules game. It's not going to have every little tiny skill that you might need in life, but there are general ones that you can sort of look through. Stuff like fighting and dodging. If you're ever going to get into a scrape, you want to make sure that you can dodge 100%. That's really important. You have an opportunity of dodging everything that happens to you. If you do not have any levels in the skills, then you have to use the default, which is usually a negative. So for example, climbing is a -2, but if you put 1 point into climbing, it's a +1. You can go up to 6 levels in any skill or song or most other things. And they all cost 1 point each. So you want to think about what types of skills you're going to need when you do inhabit those bodies based on how you, as Lauren, want to play. How you want to sort of manipulate the character that you're building here. Another option would be songs. These are basically like magic spells, and it's just how you manipulate the symphony to make whatever you want to happen. And there are a number of different types of songs that you can well, let me describe it like this. With each type of song, so for example, the Song of Attraction, there are a version of it for the corporeal song, ethereal song, and celestial song. If you have just one level in the corporeal, then you can use that aspect of the song. If you have one in ethereal and corporeal, you can use both aspects, but they both get a little bit easier to use. And if you have one in each, then it's really easy to use, and you can use all aspects of it. Most every song has it broken down in those three different ways. So, for example, the corporeal song of attraction is designed to attune items to each other. Once attuned, each tugs gently in the direction of the other, letting you know where something else is, whether it's another person or an object that you've attuned to it. Just helps you sort of track. The ethereal song of attraction makes victims madly, passionately attracted to any person or object of the performer's choosing. So that might be fun in certain situations. And the celestial song of attraction works like a resonance of the jinn and cherubim. The performer must physically touch the object which he wishes to attune to himself, but may then divine its location anywhere in the symphony. So you will always know without a doubt where something or someone is if you use that version. So there's attraction, there's charm, there's dreams, entropy, form, harmony, healing, motion, light. And some of these do have combat implications, like light, for example. And there's possession and projection and shields and thunder, tongues, and stuff like that.
Okay. And
Another thing that you can... Oh, I'm sorry, what's that?
I was going to say, would these songs let others in the area know my whereabouts and what I'm doing?
Depending on how powerful they are, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The, the thing is you never know if another celestial's around. The only way you know is if they do something with their essence by disturbing the symphony. Sometimes that's just killing a human, and sometimes that's literally spending essence to perform a song. But even then, they don't know who did it unless they have a special ability that lets them do it. They
Okay.
just know what area it's in. So if you do something heinous, just try to mask your behavior a little bit if you notice people coming
Me?
and looking.
Not little old me.
Or hot bodies and just get away.
Yeah, it was that guy over
Yeah, it definitely
there.
wasn't me. Everyone saw it. It's on record.
Okay.
So now there's sort of negative skills called discords, which you get points by having them, but they also like hurt you in some way. It's like a flaw, basically. So you're
Okay.
crippled, or you have damaged sense, or you have stigmata, or you're vulnerable or twitchy. So there's just a bunch of different flaws, discords that you can get that would then give you extra points later on in the three different realms of ethereal, celestial, or corporeal. Not many people have chosen them because, of course, it's a drawback, and not many people want drawbacks.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, it does add to the character development and role playing for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And so it would give you more points to spend basically
Yeah, based on the
later?
number of levels of the Discord you take, you get that many. I believe it's that many back, but it might be 2 times.
Okay. Because I'm interested in this ethereal discord of angry, which would be a will roll. But my will's pretty high, and it would be funny if I got angry.
You don't want to make her angry. You won't
Don't do
like
it.
her when she's angry. So whether or not you succeed, the check digit is the number of hours you have until your angry feelings will again come into play. If you fail, the remain you remain angry for a number of minutes equal to the check digit. That would be a big role playing thing because it could be something stupid. You know, someone
Yeah.
cuts you off, and all of a sudden, for the next 2 hours, you're just like a horrible person to be around.
But that kind of goes with the same like serial killer thing where it's like what set him off? Nothing.
Right.
Something tiny. So I think I might do that. I might take the angry ethereal discord if I can.
Yeah, you can. Let me see. Every level of Discord taken during the character creation gives 3 points to spend elsewhere. So what level? I got it. Hold on, let me highlight that so I don't have to look for it again. What level of that Discord do you want?
Let's just do level 1.
Okay.
Start off nice and easy.
We'll start with 1 just to see how it goes. So angry. Oh wait, it's a Discord. I'm gonna put over in Discord. All right, so that gives you 3. So you have 39
Sweet.
to work with. Hey, Chris is tuning in live. He's also going to be playing this game, making his character on Saturday. So it's 2 angels and 2
Ooh.
demons so far. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
All right. This is going to be good. Okay. So you
Okay.
got a Discord. Do you want to
Mhm.
think about skills or songs or anything?
Yeah, let's go up to skills. Um, I looked at, where is it? Oh, all these negatives, they're just so in your face.
Yeah, and some of them are pretty harsh too. Like, but I don't know how often you're going to need chemistry, but it's a negative
Yeah.
5, you know.
Um, let's put one in driving.
Nice. That's always a good one. So that defaults to perception or precision, I mean.
Mhm.
So driving. So that's 1 point. Got 38
Um,
left.
detect lies.
Ooh, nice. That's
I feel like
perception also.
that's important.
Okay.
Ooh. Fast talk.
Nice. That'll come in handy. And that's will, so that's going to be really nice for you. And are you just wanting to do 1 level in each of these?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you're back to
What happens
36.
if you go up more levels?
It's easier to do. So all of that. So for example, if you want to dodge, you would take your dodge level plus your agility, and
Hmm.
that would help you figure out what your target number that you're trying to get under is. So the higher it
Okay.
is, the better, because you want to get under it.
Okay, so I definitely want to go through and see which ones I value the most and then put more in later. So let's do lying.
Let's see. It's intelligence or perception, whichever is higher. So for you, it's perception.
And
So,
also seduction.
oh no, hey no. Just 1, so that's -1. And then -1 for seduction. Where's seduction? Will.
Yes, will.
All right, so this is turning into like
Okay.
almost like like a spy. Oh, what's the name of that
Yeah.
show? I don't know. I can't think of the damn name of the show, but there's this gorgeous lady that's like a super spy.
That's Laura Croft, Tomb Raider.
That's a good one too. That's not what I was thinking of, but yeah, I was thinking of the one with it's like a Russian spy girl, but it's not the Marvel movie.
But
It's the one with what's her name. But if you're going for a
oh,
Laura Croft sort of vibe, this is going to be like a
specifically
corruptible or
the one
corrupted.
with the triangle titties from the early game.
The PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PS1 triangle
Nice.
titties are
Hey, that's a real
nothing.
problem. I have triangle titties. I hide them with my Madonna
You have to
weird pokey
face
bra.
the camera straight on.
Yeah. You see the angles otherwise. It's weird. It's creepy.
Okay, let's do for a song, Charm.
Ooh,
And
okay.
that's 10, right?
No. Songs are 1 per level as well, but you have to tell me
Oh.
which of the different realms version of it.
Mm.
So you said charm, right?
Definitely celestial, because that's my strongest aspect.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure you're going to need this. So this song affects the victim's will, making them apathetic and highly susceptible, dulling their senses to near imbecility.
You're right. Let's put that. Okay, let's not do charm. Let's put it into something I might struggle with, which would be anything ethereal.
So it affects either their intelligence, making them slow-witted, or their precision, making it difficult for them to concentrate on any sort of complicated task. So this would be nice if you run across someone that's trying to like shoot you, for example. You could just use this
Yeah,
song, and it's hard for them to focus on targeting you. Would be
I
one,
think that's a good option.
yeah, one application. So song of charm, and how many levels do you want?
Let's do 2 there. Let's
Okay,
get crazy.
so it's -2. All right, and then what's the corporeal version is affecting their strength, making it difficult for them to put up a struggle, and their agility, making them slow to react. Gosh, that would have a lot of good combat implications too. Yeah, surprisingly, charm has nothing to do with seducing someone. It just lowers their
No.
scores. I mean, ultimately, the role playing mechanic behind it is, they're like, oh, look at you. I don't want to hurt you. But, all right. What
Okay,
else you got?
so let's do.
So, one thing that's bad for you is because you hop into other people's bodies,
Hmm.
you don't necessarily know how many like hits they can take. Now, of course, as far as the game mechanic goes, I'll let you guys know what the body hits of the body that you jump into are. But if you die in someone else's body, I'm sorry, if they die when you're in their body, you're kicked back to hell and you're going to be ostensibly on like a cosmic timeout for a while. And it's going to hurt you, set trauma in your mind and stuff. So you're going to want to make sure that you jump out of someone's body if they're ready to die as quickly as you can. And you have to be in someone's body within 10 minutes times the number of forces that you have, so 90 minutes, or else you're then also kicked back to hell. So you don't have a
Okay.
ton of time to find the right vessel to jump into them. You have to make sure. So all that's to say, there are like songs and skills that help heal that might be
Yeah,
beneficial if that's something you want to explore.
I was just looking at it might be beneficial to take the corporeal healing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
How many levels do you want?
what's the highest you can do?
6 is the highest. That's a lot. So
Let's
with
do 4.
wow, okay,
I don't. I'm coming at this from thinking about. I'm really into true crime. That's why I'm
cool.
diving this deep into it. But the biggest thing that serial killers and cowards like these are like really scared of is dying themselves.
Right.
In the end, they're always, weak kneed as they're carried to the electric chair.
Right.
So they probably really wouldn't want to die.
That's true. Plus, you would be able to help your friends out too, ostensibly. I think. I mean, it's you perform a
Also
task with
them,
somebody to heal damage. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe them. The
and also
check
them
doesn't
having
transfer
some.
for anyone else. Yeah, so you could heal other people if you wanted to, which is
Perfect.
helpful.
Okay. So where are we at? How many do I have left?
I'm showing 28.
Perfect. Let's do. There's so many options, so much room for activities. Um,
Do you ever want to like use a small firearm or a knife or a bat or
yeah,
like martial arts or anything like that?
I think small weapon would be a good one to have. Let's start putting more in 2 in small weapon.
Okay, and I think we have to define whether it's a rifle, pistol, or no, that's ranged. Sorry. So small weapon
Okay.
is you don't have. Well, let's see. There's a separate skill for each proficiency with each specific kind of small weapon. Yeah, so like
Oh.
dagger, short sword, or sap. Like some sort of like I don't know if you want to do like brass knuckles or what type of
Hmm.
small weapon you'd want to do. If you want like a
I'll
pistol,
do a
that would be a
crowbar.
ranged weapon.
Yeah, I'll do a crowbar.
So you're just walking around with a crowbar. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
which I would like to argue could also be a ranged weapon.
It totally could. It would be a very painful. Okay, that's precision. So let's see. That's for
Which
small
I feel like we should also put one in throwing then too.
crowbar. That probably would help, yeah. And so you wanted one in that in crowbar?
Uh, yeah, put one in crowbar
All
for
right.
me. Oh, that's really funny.
Weird choice. I'm going to extend that to other things that are shaped similar to a crowbar. So
Crowbar shaped
it's
things.
not just a crowbar. You're like locked in. Oh, it's a bat, but it's not exactly a crowbar. I'm screwed. So throwing,
Um,
yeah, that would be definitely beneficial.
let's do one and move silently.
Oh, hold on. How many levels in throwing did you want?
Let's do 2 because I feel like throwing a crowbar is going to be kind of hard.
I mean, it can't be more difficult than using a fishing line and a chainsaw and like
That's
whipping it
true.
around. which was
I
pretty
still tell
epic in and
people
of
about
itself.
that.
All right, so I'm
Anyone who
showing
will listen.
25. Guess what I did today? All right, so what was the other one you had mentioned? After throwing?
Move silently.
Okay. That is agility. Yeah, you are very much going for the assassin style here.
Yeah.
Move silently. And how many did you want in move silently?
Let's do 2. Okay.
Okay, minus 2. So I'm showing you have 23 left. Do you want to look at more songs or anything?
Yeah, I think that's probably smart. I should sing it.
We could just do a musical for the rest of this thing. What song do you want?
All of them.
One of each, please.
Okay, so let me get back up to the alphabetical start. So we started with which one? My song, I have Ethereal Charm. Let's do Corporeal Attraction.
Ooh, attraction. Where is that? Okay. So, Song of Attraction. What level?
2.
So that attunes items to each other. So it just sort of allows you to help track whatever item it is. Or you can do it on...
Yeah, if I'm stalking somebody, I want to know where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me throw an idea out to you. This is something that Cameron did do, but I thought it was a really interesting sort of application. There's one called Possession, which is slightly different than your version of Possession because you possess an unknowing human host. This actually would let you possess another celestial's vessel and then use their powers as if it was them.
Ooh,
That's a pretty cool option. I don't know how often it would come in handy, but it is a pretty cool little thing.
That is really cool. I do like that. Let's do one of those.
Okay.
Just in case it comes up.
Right.
You know, if I want to take somebody else over and be like, no, you're mine now.
Or they're just bugging you too much, and you're like, all right, you know what? I'm taking control here.
You're done talking. Yeah.
Always keep in mind, anytime you use a song, you have to burn essence to use it. Each song has a different requirement for the amount of essence and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I think for the rest of it, these are the ones I value, and I think the rest of the time we'll just spread the points out around the ones we have.
Okay. I'm showing you have 20 points.
Unless something good comes up. Perfect.
That's a lot.
Let's do a total of 4 in fast talk. A total of 3 in lying.
Ooh, hold on, I gotta do some math here. So 3 in lying is a total of 3. Okay.
Let's go up to 4 in throwing.
Okay.
What are we at now?
13.
Sweet. Let's do 3, total of 3 in detect lies.
Okay.
I can detect lies as well as I can lie.
Yeah.
Let's do 3 in seduction, total of 3. Now what are we at for totals? You're so good at math.
I'm using a calculator.
You're so good at. Have you seen the Barbie movie yet?
I haven't. Is it good?
Oh my gosh, it's so good, and I feel like your Ken would be calculator. I don't do math. I only calculator.
Well, we're at 9 right now, and I'm gonna be a genital-less Ken doll for that. For the rest of this game. This will be the worst torture ever.
Yeah, you get nothing. It's plastic.
I'll DJ that plastic.
Okay, are we? Does anything look like very naked other than your Ken doll-esque?
I would,
Are
if
we
I were you,
low in?
I would either add in some sort of ranged weapon that's further than you could throw, or
Mm,
bump up your small weapon use as well. Oh, you don't have dodge. I would highly recommend you get dodge.
yeah, that's probably a good
And
idea.
also
Yeah.
consider acrobat, because whatever level of acrobatics you have, first of all, it can be used in a number of different ways, but it also adds to your dodge.
Okay. So we have how many points left?
9. 9
9.
times.
Okay, let's do 2 acrobatics, 2 dodge.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's 4. Got 5 left.
Can I have it a ranged weapon score just added to my crowbar? Same weapon, different stats being used at different times.
Ranged weapons are typically rifles, pistols, or longbows, so your throwing would be applicable to the small weapon, whereas the ranged
Okay.
weapon would be, you know, a sort of even further distance weapon.
Can I
I
have a
mean,
crossbow that shoots crowbars?
it's a modified crowbar crossbow. I'm
Crossbow.
not sure how effective it would like fling back. That could be dangerous.
Okay, I want a crossbow, but on every bolt, I'm painstakingly etching in the word crowbar on every
Okay.
single one. That's what happens
This
when
is
I'm angry and alone.
you're like the wet bandits. People are gonna know you killed them because it's gonna have crowbar written on it.
This isn't even a crowbar, it's a bullet. But yeah, okay, I like crossbow, but all the bolts say crowbar.
Okay, ranged weapon, but crossbow.
And I'll put 1 in range.
That's funny.
It's definitely not my main.
Yeah. Crowboss bar. That's it. Thanks,
Crowboss
Chris.
bar. That's its name. I'm putting that crow. Oh.
I'm gonna pull out my crowboss bar.
My whole goal in this game now is to get this blessed by a demon, so it becomes like a +1
An
crowboss bar.
artifact. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you want to talk about artifacts, they exist, and I'm not averse to you starting with one if you want. The downside of artifacts is that it burns an essence using them, because they sort of, they're special, as it were.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't actually get into artifacts, so go into artifacts for me.
I haven't really gone into it much
Right.
either. So the character point cost of an ordinary celestial artifact is 3 times its level, which is chosen when the relic is obtained. Now, obviously, there's not a crossbow example to be given, but a close sort of version would be like a fiery sword, for example. Another relatively common relic, the sword appears to be brass sword hilt, blah, blah, blah. When someone grips the handle with both hands, concentrates for 1 round, and spends 1 point of essence, a 3-foot-long blade of flame appears, creating a weapon with the power equal to the sword's level and -2 accuracy. So basically, it's just like a magic item that you would then imbue with your essence, and it would just sort of help it go along. So if you wanted to, we could do like like the fiery sword, like have fiery crossbow bolts, or there's like holy or unholy bullets if you wanted to have holy crossbows that or cross. Oh my gosh, I can't say the word now. Crowbars that fit
Crowboss bar.
delicately into, or maybe it is a magical crowbar that, when you spend an essence, changes into the shape of an arrow, but then you could just go recover it, or a bolt, I guess.
Ooh, it's a crowbar that when I, make it powerful, it becomes the fiery sword. Like that is the hilt.
You'd need okay. I mean, all right, if that's what you want to, do, it would take 3. Oh geez, what is it? 3 times its level. The cost is 3 times its level. So if it's level
Okay.
1, then it costs 3 points.
So I can't just like say a magic spell and make it that way. It has to be its own thing.
Right. It has to be its own
Okay.
thing, but then you have to spend essence to make it do that thing. So if you wanted it
Okay.
to, flame up and have an edge.
I thought body bag was going to be perfect for a second, but not for my character.
Yeah, that's really great for people who have vessels. It wouldn't be terrible for you either. I mean, you can climb inside and assume your celestial form. Um, I don't know. No, because all your people are like borrowed. You
Exactly.
don't really care. You're trying to corrupt them, make them do bad things. Maybe that's what Albert Fish was. He was just possessed, and they're like, "Yeah, shove another needle in your groin. Yeah,
Oh,
keep it up.
have you seen those X-rays?
Yeah, brutal, like
They're so
brutal."
bad.
How he enjoyed that, I will never understand.
There's apparently a rumor that the first time they tried to electrocute him, it shorted out because of all the metal in his butt.
I could totally see that. I could totally see that. And now
Okay, I
every
like the
inmate on death row is just like, "Give me a metal butt plug."
get him up there. I think I like the idea of the unholy bullets and just having a special pouch of those that I can put into the crowboss bar.
Okay, so they'd be like
That
unholy
isn't
bolts.
necessarily like the weapon itself. It
Right.
can be used in multiple different ways. I can just whip these out, these special ones, and be like, now I'm using the special ones.
Okay, so let me see here. So ammo for holy or unholy pistols. These bullets can do celestial generated corporeal vessel. They do hits equal to the check digit of the successful hit roll, plus the power of the pistol from which they're being fired. The only difference is that each must be fired from its respective kind. So yours would be unholy bolts. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike other artifacts, these one-shot relics are not purchased in levels. They're one character point each. So you would have to have your crossbow be a unholy crossbow to use those unholy bolts in. So would you want to
Yeah,
do?
I mean, what kind of holy crossbow actually is a bunch of crowbars? None. That's unholy.
So did you want to do a level 1 unholy crossbow and then just get a couple of bolts based on whatever you have left?
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
only
good.
showing you have 4 points left. So it would take 3 to get a level 1 unholy crossbow, and then you would only have 1 left to get 1 unholy bolt.
It's very special. It was given to me by a demon pirate who stranded me on an island and gave me one crossbow bolt to kill
Okay.
myself with.
Okay. All right. Well, that is all your points. You have a very interesting character.
You can tell when people who normally DM games get to finally
Yeah.
play because they're absolutely unhinged.
They do crazy things like crow boss bolt bars. Damn it, I can't even say it now. Yeah, Chris is
Crowbar
taking a
bar.
dramatic stance here. He doesn't care what anyone says about Albert Fish. The guy was a real jerk. Huh. Yeah. How how dare you?
Oh,
How could you not like a child molesting sadist who loves to stick
I'm
needles in his
sorry.
groin?
What forums is he on where they're like he was a pretty good guy actually?
Right. Like he was just
Uh,
misunderstood. That's
he was
all.
a great guy.
I mean,
Next
he
up,
was
we're gonna
terrible with
talk about
kids,
how Dahmer
but
had great recipes.
yeah. He always said happy birthday on your birthday. Always.
Yeah, the Candyman, delicious caramels.
They tasted of earwax and blood, but it must have been, I don't know. All right. Well, you
There,
have a very interesting character here that I'm excited to see in action because this
me
is going to get
too.
ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
So there's literally nothing off the table when it comes to when we play. Ultimately, you're going to be given a mission by your boss, Kronos, and however you play that mission out depends on whether he's going to reward you or punish you, depending on how good or bad it goes. But then everyone else is going to be working with the same objective. And so you're going to have to determine how you interact with other angels and demons depending on their band, and of course your individual band has its own biases toward other bands, and just how your demon prince manages other demon princes. So once everyone's done, I'll do a bunch of sort of research between each other, and then I'll send everyone little notes about this is the starting point of where most in your band feel how they feel. you can sort of adjust it however you'd like. But I'll just give you starting points basically.
Sweet.
And
I'm excited.
that's it. When it comes to like equipment and stuff, because you're a spirit, you don't really have any. You're adopting other people's bodies, and so when it comes like your crossbow, that's going to be something that you're going to have to bring the body that you inhabit back to wherever you keep it, and then you can move forward with it. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's like what are those like rental storage places, or maybe it's like a vault in like a train station or like a bank or something, where you just sort of keep your
I'm thinking of there
crowbar's
was
bark.
one guy who would bury kill kits around the country, and
Oh,
when he would travel around different places, there was basic stuff. But if I had like a something buried in the ground somewhere,
yeah,
that's yeah.
that'd be pretty interesting. You get into the group with everyone. And you're like, all right, we got to go dig something up. And everyone's like, what? No, we've
Yeah.
got to go find this
Like
guy. You're like, no, no, trust me. You're going to have
no,
to.
I need this. Thank you.
I really need it. You're going to enjoy me seeing me use it. I promise. And if not, I'll inhabit your body and make you enjoy it. All
Hey,
right.
that's true. There we go.
Well, that's it. That's your character. Chris says this is the most fun session 0 yet, so congratulations on that.
Yay.
Thank you all so much for watching this session 0. For Feast of Blades, we're going to be doing it really soon. We've got 2 more characters to create. We had one potential player drop out, and so I'm trying to pick up another one, but that shouldn't be an issue. So subscribe and ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Don't forget to click the like button and comment to let others learn about this award-winning role-playing game on this channel. And as always, remember that evil spelled backwards is live, so get out there and be evil.